Now, nothing says summer quite like lying on the beach with a good book in the sun, but how do you choose which one to pack?
There might actually be a scientific way to pick a guaranteed bestseller, apparently. A new study has examined which genres of books stimulate the brain and body, and the results might surprise you. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. to tiptoe through this carefully, we have behavioural psychologist Jo Hemmings to tell us what makes the perfect summer read. So this was all about the books that we actually enjoy reading compared to the books that we think we enjoy reading.
Yes, so do partly with the way our pulse rates change when we read, because what happens is we don't want to get too agitated. So some of the pure thrillers would make pulses rate too high, our heart's too high. So the mixture of sort of romance and thriller kind of seem to work, that suspense plus love, if you like. So we've got to find something to read where we feel completely relaxed, we're engaged with characters, it's absorbing, but not that it's so tense, if you like, that we get agitated, because then it's not so relaxing anymore.
So we all want to know what books came out on top in this survey, then. What should we be packing?
Well, The Obsession, this came out top, because it's a mixture of suspense and romance. Interestingly, Jamie Oliver's cookbook came out quite well.
But there's often quite a lot of suspense in our house. Once you put it in the oven, you never know if it's ever going to taste like what it's meant to.
Or not. Pulse rates go up for various reasons, not just because we're excited, but because we're hungry. So when they were reading Jamie Oliver, of course, hunger sort of took over. Yeah, exactly.
Take Jamie Oliver.
That's a big book to pack. They're like that size.
But it's just comparing that mixture of, I guess, books are a bit like a roller coaster. You want to feel engaged with characters, you want to feel there's something lovely happening, you know, romantic, and then you want a bit of tension, but other things stimulate pulse rates, like too much caffeine or hunger. So they're reading Jamie and thinking, I could eat that.
What about slightly saucy books? I mean, obviously 50 Shades of Grey was a huge hit a few years back, and we see Jilly Cooper still always hits the bestseller lists with her bonkbusters.
OK, now we love those sorts of books, but actually in scientific terms they're a bit overstimulating.
Oh!
In that...
too much of a good thing.
Too much of a good thing, exactly. So your pulse rate's high, and it sort of stays high for various reasons, sort of psychologically in your head. So although we enjoy them...
Make your holiday more exciting.
Well, absolutely. Did you see all those people years ago reading that? But it's a bit overstimulating in terms of getting the perfect read. But of course, millions of people have enjoyed it.
OK, so how about for those... Are there a large chunk of people who, for example, like myself, I'll use the holiday to just get through a really tough read? So I think I've got this amount of time.
When you say tough, do you mean difficult or intense?
Something that you think you should read,
yeah.
but you never have the time to do. Yeah, War and Peace and those kind of things.
You're a barrel of laughs, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm great fun.
Don't disturb me on page 973.
But is there a good chunk of those people, or am I alone in that?
No, you're absolutely not alone. And actually, holidays are...
Borrow this one off you.
Yes, fine. You're very welcome to that one.
For later on.
Of course.
You're not a big reader. I've got a huge pile of books by my bed, actually, which I'm always trying to get through. But I am halfway through the new Jilly Cooper one. I got given that for Christmas.
Oh.
OK.
By my father-in-law, yeah. And it's, yes, I was quite surprised. But it's jolly good. That and the biography of Johnny Marr. So they're the next ones I'm trying to plough through. And an A.A. Gill book.
Indeed. And do you think there's always that controversy about real books or e-readers? You say you use an e-reader. I'm still a person, I like taking a physical book.
OK, I did, but of course I read on holiday a lot, and it was just weighing down my suitcase at the expense of shoes. So I had to go. Yes, I had to go to an e-reader, and I've got used to it now. It's just a case of adapting to it. The trouble is, a lot of the time I don't know what I'm reading until I go to the home button, because I can't remember the book I'm reading. So it doesn't have that physical feeling, but it's very a neat way to do it, efficient way to do it.
Lovely to see you, Jo. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Time for the weather.
You're going to ask me, aren't you? Is it good weather for reading a book today? It might get a bit wet, your book, if you do read it today.
A brilliant time to read books in, you know, 1 or 2 sittings as well. We don't see films in, you know, 6 different sittings as we do with a chapter of a book on a train. So I think when you've got a holiday, you've got nothing else to do or nothing else to feel guilty about not doing, that is the ideal time to read something which is, you know, a big chunk of a book. So you're not alone.
I think it's not just picking your books. I think it's picking your holiday partners, which is also important, because not for stimulation, but sharing books. we're going in a very difficult direction here. No, for sharing books, my husband and I have got quite different tastes in books, but I often find by the end of the whole day I've got through all of mine, so I then have to sort of start reading his books.
Oh,
and I think that's great, because I look at books that I would normally not touch.
And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I, of course, have an e-reader with about 400 books on, and I'm never going to get through them all. So there's always something to read. But I like that, and I like things like hotel bookcases, where you'd go and pick something you would never normally choose. Because otherwise we get stuck in genres that we want to read, and we don't know there might be something else out there we like as much.